That is so dangerous. And what it comes down to is that Elise Stefanik thinks you should get your ass in a car and drive 2 hours to go see the doctor.
Wait, sorry. From that stretch, within that stretch of a medical desert, you called it, right?
That is what the founder of Hudson Headwaters has said, that there is a 114-mile stretch between Glens Falls and Plattsburgh that will become a medical desert.
And if I were to be like in an emergency and calling an ambulance, like it would take them.
This is
Like,
our
I'm
new
just shit out
reality.
of luck.
This is our new reality. You know, I've been up into Essex County in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
That is, you know, probably about the halfway point, give or
Right,
take,
right.
between the two. And people already tell me that when I need to go see an eye doctor, when I need to go see an ENT, I have to drive to Glens Falls already. I have to drive to Albany.
Yeah, many people in Malone, they come to Albany, they come to Glens Falls or whatever for care.
I mean,
Well, assuming they have transportation.
Exactly.
Right.
That they have the time to get off for work for transportation. That's a 3.5-hour drive.
And for veterans, it's the same because Stratton is
You
here,
have to go,
right?
You're either going to Syracuse or you're coming down here. Yeah.
Wow.
But this is what we're doing. And so,
like, people are going to die, which is, I don't think people realize.
People are going to die. But also, I mean, that is like first and foremost, people will die. But also, a lot of these hospitals and a lot of these medical centers are some of our biggest employers.
Yep.
And so now you have 5 hospitals at risk of closure in the North Country. You know, we were just talking about what it looks like when local economies are hollowed out. You know, we can get on tariffs for in a sec, but you know, when you have economies that are reliant on small businesses and farms and tourism and those start to become hollowed out, but then the largest employer in town is the hospital, but that hospital stands to close or is at risk of closure.
Like local economies are dying now too.
Yeah.
You have a huge brain drain from that. A lot of people do what I did. I joined the military after high school, but many people will go to a SUNY school, right? They'll pick a SUNY school and then they're out. You know, that's their ticket out. They finish their degree and they move to another place in New York State or they move out of state. Most people are not saying like, I can't wait to graduate and go back to Malone, right? Unfortunately, because there's nothing there for you to, people will retire there once they already have money and have built their lives, but they're not dependent on an income at that point. But there's no local economy there. And I think that that's pretty common across the district in smaller towns where people are leaving and not coming back, but they're not seeing that support.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, you know, our district's 15 counties. You know, when we draw congressional districts, it's for equal representation, right? So New York 21 keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Why is it? Because we keep losing people.
Right.
And so it needs to be drawn in a way that there's enough people in it.
Right.
And so it spans 15 counties where to go from Saratoga County all the way up to Clinton County is 2 hours. To get from Clinton County over to St. Lawrence, 2 hours. St. Lawrence down to Rome, 2.5 hours. I don't know. You know, it's massive.
It's huge.
It's huge. And so part of that is that, you know, it takes so long to get across the district that you have to be in the car driving nonstop just to see the people you need to see. And so inevitably, some folks are not going to feel like you're present. They're not going to feel the presence of their representative or their government or the benefits of certain programs.
Well, all you gotta do is turn on TV. They'll see their rep.
And I mean,
it's an annoying thing, but I say it a little tongue in cheek, but like when I go home, that's what I tell people. Like, hey, they'll tell me what's going on in their lives, right? Because I'm like, hey, let's catch up. And that's how I found out about Alice Hyde and et cetera. And I go, they don't know who their representative is, first of all, but I know who it is. And I know I see her on TV all the time. So it seems like for you, like the idea is to connect the seat back to the people, which is that's why I'm hammering that home.
No, I know, I appreciate it because, we have lost sight of each other's humanity. Like if I take one big step back of like around politics, right? Like I think that, and this is why I talk and center my whole campaign around this idea of dignity, around the that you should live your life, with dignity and have the freedom to thrive.
Yeah.
That idea is what I remind myself every day. And it's, and I like what you just said of connecting it to the people, because our politics is not very connected to people. It's connected to big money. It's connected to corporations. It's connected to people who are already in power trying to protect their power, right? Like, it's just like, so I get it why people think that we're failing them. Frankly, I think we are. Like, like, right? Yeah. Like, I think, like, I was at a Democratic event earlier this summer, and I was asked to speak on the future of the Democratic Party.
Ooh.
Which I have a lot of thoughts on.
We'll have this podcast run for 3 hours if we get into that.
And I'll say a few things, but the people who spoke before me said, the future is in this room.
Ooh.
The future is rooms like this. And so then I got up there and I said, the future is in this room, but it's also not in this room. And I said, because the ticket to entry was minimum $50. And
ooh, I was going to say something else, but I like that. Yeah.
That there are people who can't afford that, but they're the future. There are people who thought, why even bother about going? Because they're not going to listen to my ideas. There's people who have felt like they have been ignored for so long. There are people who didn't even know what was happening because we haven't even put in the work to organize to get them to know about it happening, right? So, there's so many things. I'm like, but they're also the future of the Democratic Party. And we can't forget that.
Yeah.
And so that is why, I keep going back to this idea of like, at the core of my campaign are the people. And that is the conversation that I've had across this district of it. It's about time someone stops protecting the powerful.